Hey everyone. So Spirit had come through this morning with a message that it had been trying to deliver me for so long. And it was like every time this particular topic would come forward, it was like I couldn't fully understand or perceive in the way that Spirit wanted me to perceive it. And finally today, I was like, oh, okay, that aha. Sometimes it takes us a few times to really fully download a message because our programs can block us. Our programs that we've had our entire life and that have been stilled within us, they can block us from perceiving things in a certain way. So we kind of got to keep chiseling away at these programs to fully reveal what the universe is trying to tell us. So here's the example that it gave me. And the moral of this message actually covers such a vast area of things that I felt like it was really crucial to share it with you guys because I feel like you'll be able to relate to it. So I was sitting here thinking, I've been on YouTube a little over a year now. And, as a creator, you want to put your best, stuff out there. So my linear mind was like, okay, you've grown a lot in the past a little over a year, right? So those old videos, they're not quite as sharp as the ones you're putting out now. This is what my ego is telling me. This is what my linear mind is thinking. And so should you go back and delete them? And every time I ask this question, because my ego wants to make that move, like delete some of your old videos, even though I can't even remember what that guy said. I just know I've grown so much, so I know the message was probably delivered in a different way. So every time I bring this question to when I, have these conversations with Source, I'm like, should I go delete them? I want to feel clarity in it and confident, in my decision. And it's a no. It's a hard no every time. I'm like, why? Literally, I know for sure, topics I've talked about in the past, my perception now about those exact topics is different. But it's like, duh, of course it's different. You've grown and you're constantly evolving. So we're trying to make that what we thought then wrong. Everything I used to believe is wrong when really nothing is wrong. Everything is right for you in that particular moment that you're in, your incarnation, or past incarnations. Everything is perfect for you in that moment because everything, coming to this full understanding is a gradual process. So you needed that perception then in order to bring you to that next level, to perceive the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing. And it's this ongoing evolution of learning and resonance with certain things. So so basically Spirit was like, there are people right now who are in a particular vibration, a particular space right now, who need that first video you made, who need that third video you made, that you may think is not as is not as quote unquote good, even though there's it's you can't even use that word. It's such a judgment, and it's meaningless because everything is good for somebody in a particular moment at a particular time. That's why when you if you come across a tarot reading, but it was from a year ago, but it's for you right now, that specific message your guides want you to hear. And our linear minds want to be like, well, it wasn't for this specific date, so it's not for me right now, or whatever, or it's just so 3D to think that way, but it's our programming. So first of all, don't ever beat up on yourself because you realize you had done something differently in the past that doesn't resonate with you now, because guess what? It needed to happen that way in order to get you to where you are now. Because I'm sure a year or 2 years from now, I'm going to sit and think, I wonder if, that video I made on February, the 4th, 2020, if I should delete it because I've evolved a lot since then. This perception that I'm sharing with you right now isn't valid enough. It's not good enough. It's exactly what it needs to be for whoever needs to hear it right now. These are programs that hold us back from evolving, thinking things need to be a certain way. And I want to get into this space where I appreciate those videos, and I want people to hear those videos just as much as I want them to hear my most recent videos. Why? Because I know that spirit is going to lead people to those videos if they need them. And they're still needed. We're all co-creating together. There is no such thing as like good and bad, right or wrong. So I'm sitting here trying to make my old perception wrong when it actually will be very helpful for other people who resonate with it in that time. It's really just a surrender to how everything unfolds. We're so like quick to reject something or say, okay, it doesn't fit in my box anymore. But that's just the thing. There is no like instruction manual for life. But if there was one, every single person would have their own manual. And we're all sitting here trying to like do things according to our programs and our one manual that we're told to follow, go to college, have a family, get married, work 9 to 5, make sure your job has benefits, like all of these things that are so fear-based. It's like if I don't do things this way, my life could fall apart and crumble. It's like a complete lack of faith in the universe. Like, if you want to manifest bliss in your life, you cannot be afraid to make a change, a scary change. You cannot be afraid to leave a relationship that person may be a really great person and you do love them, but you know it's not your person. You can't be afraid to make that change. That program will eat away at you until you're so uncomfortable. Because if you're on this spiritual path and you're listening to my videos, you're on it. You're not choosing to like force it in 3D. You want to evolve. So you will get so uncomfortable in these situations, whether it's a job or a relationship with family, anything. You'll get so uncomfortable that you will have to move and you will have to evolve. But why? Why even go through all that when you can just surrender and have faith and know the universe has something greater for you? We're so afraid to change. We're so afraid to get out of these like safe, comfortable 3D boxes that we live in and like literally acknowledge the fact that we are exactly who we need to be. It is exactly where we need to go for everything, every source of information that you could ever want. All you have to do is tap in to source, is become a vibrational match to your higher self so you can receive all the guidance and information that you could ever need to create and manifest. But when we're blocked by these programs and we're afraid to make big changes and we're afraid to like not beat ourselves up about our past videos that we think aren't good enough when really they're perfect, exactly the way they are for whoever needs to hear it at that time. Your past was so perfect because it brought you to here. And now you have the choice to repeat cycles or to change your perception. I know that this is not easy, especially once you start, like, you've shedded a lot, you've had a couple dark nights of the soul, and now you're like really digging in and you're learning things about yourself that you're like, how could I possibly have not seen this my entire life? Like, because you're really becoming that observer. You're really becoming, you're just able to perceive things in such a deeper, more clear way. Like the veil is lifting and you're like, holy shit, 2020 vision, right? Like you can really see, like you meet a person and you just immediately know all these things about them. Like you're blowing your own mind. Like raising into these higher vibrations is blowing your mind. Like you literally can't even perceive time in the same way. Like, I feel like I blinked and I was just camping this past summer, and now it's after Christmas. It's the 2020. Like, what? Like, where did all the, I don't even know what's happening. Like, it's like when you become so in the moment that every moment is just all mixed together. It's all the same. The past, the future, everything's happening all at once. And when you start to feel that, and that's what's happening right now, a lot of people are having to integrate it physically, me included. And the time thing is what you notice a lot when you integrate it physically. Because I don't know, it's like, for me, I've always been a little ungrounded my whole life. I've always felt like, you know how you have a really great meditation or something, or you're really connected and your body is just vibrating and buzzing? I've had that almost, like, I'm so sensitive physically that I've had that like my entire, since I was 8 years old, I was like dealing with it. And I had so many tests done to be like, try to figure out like why my blood pressure has always been really low, just really like, is this weird like connection that I've always had. But I know it's getting more intense, but I'm used to it. So like when it's getting intense, like I have to really get into nature or get my grounding blanket out. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those. I think I've mentioned them in other videos. They have like little, the threads of the blanket have the wiring, and you plug it into the grounding port in your plug, and at least 30 minutes a day, and it'll actually ground your body. But anyways, if you guys seen that, there's an earthing movie out that talks all about that. I can't even remember the guy's name. He's all over YouTube too. Just look it up. You'll see it. But it's super important when you're physically integrating all these energies, because you'll just be gone and everything's happening around you. And we still are human beings that have to navigate in this 3D reality that we have chose to use as a tool to evolve in. So yeah, like the point I wanted to make the most of is like, your past is not wrong. We judge ourselves so much, and because we think that like spirituality is this box. And it's so funny because like even new age spirituality, everyone's like, okay, we can throw yoga in that box, meditation in that box, this and that and this and that, and everyone's like, okay, that's what it is. They still try to create a religion or something out of it. And it's just like, please, can everybody just adopt their own individual boxes and throw what the hell they like in their box? And that is you. There is no religion. There is nothing to, like, there's no rules. You have your own instruction manual that you created. But we always over here trying to make sure we feel validated by everything around us. You validate you. You don't need external validation. Once you start really understanding that and really resonating with like, holy shit, like I got all the answers and these answers feel good to me. And stop being afraid of not agreeing, having everyone agree with you, or you agreeing with how everyone else lives their life, so that's how you live yours. And we do it, even though we're a lot of us are spiritually evolved, we're still doing it within our own spiritual communities. You'll check yourself saying, oh, this person's doing this, so maybe I should. That's great. Try things out, and what resonates with you, keep, and what doesn't, then don't. Do it with food. Do it with like stupid little things like my grounding blanket and distilling my water and all this stuff. Like, just because somebody else does something doesn't mean you do it. Yeah, those seem like great things to do. But the funny thing is when something resonates with you, you'll try it, and then you'll just keep doing it, and it'll become a habit, and it's a part of your life. And there's a lot of little things like juicing and distilling my water and my grounding blanket and, like unfluoridated toothpaste. Things become a habit. You get in the habit of buying them. And then all of a sudden you're living a lot healthier because you're just following your intuition. Not every new age spiritual thing that's supposed to help your life have I adopted. Not everything is for me. Not everyone's bodies react the same way to different foods. And when we stop judging people and trying to fit them into these boxes, it is so freeing. because you can just sit back and let people be who the fuck they are and not want to debate people all the time about what's right and wrong, because there is no right and wrong. Every individual has their own manual. Every individual has their own perception, which is right for them. And that's okay. Just be you. And unapologetically. I'm unapologetically owning Kelsey a year ago in that video I made that I think isn't as good as these ones. No, it's still just as good because it was perfect for when it was, and I'm leaving it there unapologetically because I love that Kelsey and I love this Kelsey, and I love every aspect of me that is out there in the universe. I hope you guys really are feeling this message because they brought it through me this morning and I finally, like, it clicked for me. And I was like, I gotta share this because I feel like you can take it from so many different angles and apply it to your life and really understand something better. Like, whoa, I am kind of trying to be like them. I am kind of like afraid of what people think of that old video I made because it's not as good as what I am now. Like, what? That's so ego. I love her just as much. I know stuff is intense right now. I was going to share this real quick because it's so crazy. Like the last 2 days, I'm like, I swear to God, I have like superhuman energy, but waking up in the morning is super hard. Like my mind in the morning laying in the bed is like, oh my gosh, did I just like come off anesthesia at a surgery or something? Like that's how like debilitated I feel. But it's like as soon as I get myself up and going, I'm like, everywhere. I've got so much stuff done in the last 2 days around the house. Like I'm getting rid of so much stuff and just like trying to downsize because I know Spirit's going to have me move sometime this year, and maybe it's sooner rather than later because they're really pushing me to do things. But all I want to say is just honor your body. If you want to lay in bed, then lay in bed and let your body integrate. If Spirit has you doing spring cleaning in February, do it because it's probably a reason. So when everything's about to pop off for you and you're about to manifest some things, you're prepared. You don't have a bunch of like stuff you don't need around your house. You can just be ready to go. So that's why it's so important to follow Spirit, because like sometimes these things are like, oh, okay, I got to do these like, labor intensive things, but Spirit's getting you ready for whatever's next. So just trust it. And usually you're not going to feel like not wanting to do it. You're going to be like, I've got to do this. It's like anybody who's have kids out there, like right before you have the baby and you go through that nesting period, it's like all you want to do is clean and you're like huge, but you don't even care. Like you don't even feel and like you're exerting any energy because you have this like rush of energy to just clean and get ready for that baby to come. So just follow your intuition, and if you need to rest, don't beat up on yourself about it. If you need to take a day off work or whatever you have to do it. You know what to do. Like I don't have to sit here and tell you what to do because your higher self is telling you what to do. Sometimes we just need to be reminded that we have that connection. We have all the answers. We have to remind ourselves that we are all we need. And then trust ourselves, not feel like we need that external validation. If you want validation, ask your spirit guides for validation. They'll send you signs all over the place. And then believe those signs when they come to you. Don't be like, oh, was that a sign from Spirit? Yes, it was. Like, have some more faith, But anyways, I love you guys. I'll go get my laundry out. So have an awesome rest of your day.